England have unveiled their first foreign head coach in the wake of Stuart Lancaster's post-World Cup departure, as Australian Eddie Jones faced the gathered media at Twickenham. He may be a coach selected from overseas, but the rule on selecting foreign-based players is unlikely to change.
Yeah, you always have a different view when you're outside the tent. I've had a good chat to Ian, and I want players who want to play for England. And to play for England, you have to play in the Premiership. And you know the Premiership's a strong competition.
With selection proving to be the downfall of the previous coaching regime, what hope does Jones have of England's future?
Certainly there's some good young players here. I watched a few games on the weekend and I saw a couple of very good young players. And certainly, going towards the World Cup, as I said, we want to beat Scotland. That's our first target. But obviously, you've always got short-term targets and then you've got your long-term target, which is the World Cup. And what we've got to do is systematically over the 4 years make sure that we bring young players in, give them enough experience so that when they get to the World Cup in 2019, they've got the required amount of experience to be consistent performers.
Eddie, the previous regime seemed to be a little fixated over what other teams were doing, certainly the world champions and how they were evolving their playing style over the last 4 years. Do you, as a coach and your philosophy, do you think it's useful to do that sort of thing, or do you think it's more important for your team, your England side, to prove their own point of difference?
Well, I think one of the things you've got to do is create your own unique style of play. I want the players to believe in how England want to play. We're not going to be copying how the All Blacks play at all. We're going to create our own style of play, and I want the players to believe in it 100%. And if we get that buy-in, which I'm sure we will, then we're going to have a strong side. And then we want the All Blacks to be watching how England plays. Now, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
In recent weeks, Jones has criticised the role of captain Chris Robshaw, arguing he's not suited to the role of playing at number 7.
I wasn't the coach of England then. I was a columnist. I was writing a column, mate. I was probably being a bit naughty. So, look, going forward, one of the first things I have to do, I'm going to sit down with Chris and have a chat to him. I've watched a couple of his games since the World Cup, and like all the other players, they're all starting on zero. There's always an opportunity to change things, and he's in exactly the same position. 70% of that 2015 squad can potentially play in the World Cup in 2019. You've won 2 of the last 3 under-20s World Cup. So there's talented players here. It's a matter now for me as the head coach of selecting the right players, moulding them into a team, believing in the style of play we want to play, understanding how we have to change that style of play to accommodate certain situations. Like we might go to Scotland on the 6th of February and it might be pouring with rain. And we might have to win 1-0, mate. We might have to kick a field goal to win. And that's the way, if we've got to win that way, that's the way we've got to win. And then we come out here at Twickenham and the ground's fast, the referee's allowing quick ball and we move the ball all over the park. That's got to be the pragmatism of the team. And if you go back to the comment about New Zealand, everyone says New Zealand's this great attacking side, and they are, but they kick the ball more than any other team in the world. And it's not about if you kick or you run or you pass. It's about playing the appropriate level, appropriate type of rugby for that situation. Depends on the referee, depends on the ground, depends on the weather. And that's what I want the side to understand. That's certainly we're going to have one style of play that's going to be the base of England, but then we've got to be adaptable. And that's the challenge over the next period of time to get that right, and getting the players to play that style, understanding that style of play.